Here we are in the off season and joined in the studio by Collin Sexton of the Utah Jazz. Collin, thank you so much for stopping by.
Appreciate you for having me.
So, the rookies are coming in, and I was able to talk to them earlier this week. What do you remember from your draft night and how life-changing it was for you?
I would say my draft night was a blur. I didn't really know what happened until the next day when I was able just to take it all in, all the emotions, my family's emotions as well, and just pretty much enjoy it. I felt like I had to enjoy the night and just be in the moment. I didn't want to think too far ahead or think too far in the past, so I just had to enjoy the now, and I felt like it was one of those moments where it's just hard to explain at this point in my life.
What advice would you give to somebody coming into the NBA? Because this is their first experience of having professional basketball. Mm-hmm. They were in college last year. Some of these guys are 19 years old. Like, this is all new to them.
I would say just continue to learn. Just continue to learn and find someone that can mentor you. Find someone that can show you the ropes. Find someone that can tell you no or tell you yes and just give you good advice when you need it. I feel like that was a huge thing for me just because it was all of my family's first experience of dealing with a lot of different things. So we had to find people that who've already dealt with it and find people to lead us in the right direction.
Do you already reach out to them?
Oh, yeah. What do you mean?
Like, are you saying, hey, this is what we do on the team, this is me,
Oh, yeah,
this is what
yeah.
I'm all about?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Especially, like, since being here with the guys as well as the Summer League guys, just pretty much just interacting, talking to them, and just letting them know, like, some things that I see and give them feedback if they ask me anything, just to be that extra coach. Because sometimes, like, it's a lot thrown at you pretty fast, and I'm able to at least give them some type of direction, some type of feedback. So
I'm sure. And do you remember your first summer league? What it
yeah,
was like?
I do remember my first summer league. I remember my first summer league game as well, and it was one of those things that it was just so happening so fast, and I had to understand the game is definitely fast. It picked up. It was a lot faster than it was in practice. So.
Absolutely, because you're playing against all the other great draft picks, and you had a great class with Trey, Luka. It was a good draft class that you came into.
Absolutely. It was definitely a really good draft class, and I feel like it's going to be one to go down in ages.
You have been around here for a portion of this offseason, and you've had guys like Carlos, who's behind the cam right now, following you around. Why would you do this? Why are you letting people in with your docu-series that you're doing this offseason?
I would say just give people more, give people what they don't see behind the scenes. Everyone knows me from basketball, knowing me as a hard worker, knowing me as someone that comes in and puts the work in, but they don't know what I do outside. I'm a family person, someone that likes to have fun, someone that enjoys pretty much anything. I'm just a real chill person, but when I do step between those lines, it's go time.
I was very surprised seeing the difference between on-court Collin to seeing the docu-series and seeing who you are as a person. What have you enjoyed so far about being around Utah?
I would say just the weather. I would say the weather's been pretty good. Coming from Atlanta, it never snows. So here in Utah, I've just been able to enjoy that and get outside and also enjoy the mountains and the views. I feel like the views are breathtaking as well. So I've just been trying to find different hikes, different waterfalls, different things like that just to see and enjoy it, especially during the summer.
Where have you hiked?
I can't even tell you. I get the coaches, strength coaches. They tell me where to go, and I just go. I can't even remember the hikes, but they have definitely all been really good.
And you've gotten out into the community as far as shopping in the community, finding your spots to get shoes and things like that.
Yes.
What have you found the options for that?
I would say it's different, definitely different, especially different from Atlanta. But the option here, I've been going to Thrift Hood, I've been going to Cooperative, Top Shelf as well. So just pretty much those right now that I've found, and just driving around and even going to different places for food. I've been going to different taco places. I've been going to places that have been recommended to me just because I don't know too much about Utah and I want to learn. So whatever the fans want to send me some food recommendations, I'll try them as well.
So you heard that. Make sure you send recommendations to Collin Sexton for food places.
Absolutely.
What's been the response from Jazz fans going out in the community and having put this out, are they responding to it? Do they enjoy it?
Oh yeah, they definitely enjoy it. Definitely enjoy it, and I'm just going to continue to take off with it. Continue to do more things in the community, and just show that I'm more than a basketball player. I'm more than what people see as me. I'm one of those community guys. I want to give back. I want to show the world that it's bigger than basketball, and that's it.
What are some things to look forward to on the docu-series as it goes forward?
I would say a lot of behind the scenes before games, a lot of things after the games, and just some things how we travel. I feel like most people don't get to see that part, so I'm definitely going to show that part, how we travel, and some of the good vibes, fun moments that we have in the locker room, or even just have off the court. So it's definitely going to be fun.
How have you felt coming back this year? Because you were able to play 48 games and get back into the actual fold after an entire year that was gone. You know, you only played 11 the year before. How did it feel to get actually back on the court and play for a team?
It felt great. It definitely felt great to be back out there. It just shows you how much I appreciate playing basketball. My appreciation went through the roof, and it showed that I have a different type of love for the game. You don't really love something until it's taken away. I feel like that made me fall even more in love with it. I feel like the darkest times that I had allowed me to understand that who I am and understand that basketball is not all I am.
I feel like fans really gravitate to you. Basically, that first home game against the Nuggets when you're revving the bull, and doing going right at Jokic, who would be the NBA champion at the end. Take me behind that play, and why'd you stomp? Why did you rev the bull getting ready for that?
I just needed to make sure my foot didn't slip. I knew what time it was. I knew I was going to get to the basket. I knew what I wanted to do before the shot clock went down. So I was able just to get my footing, and it all makes sense of why I did it. But it was one of those moments that just allowed me just to be back on the court. After I laid it up, just adrenaline of emotion as well, just to be back playing in my first game back in a regular season. It felt amazing.
And it's a good bookend because your last regular season game against the Lakers, even though it was a loss, that was an inspired effort by that group.
Absolutely.
So many people were out, and yet the Jazz are hanging with a team that would make it to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, it was one of those things that just shows that we have that I don't quit attitude. At the end of the day, we're going to run through a wall. I know each and everybody on the team will do whatever it takes for one another, and you can definitely see that. We'll dive on the floor. We'll continue to pick each other up when each other's down. Like, that's one thing that we have is that motivation, and we all have that chip on our shoulder to show, like, what we're about.
What are you feeling now that it's the off season? How are you feeling going into next year and prepping your body for another year of NBA basketball?
I feel great. I'm excited. I've been doing the right things just to play a full 82. I want to play a full 82 coming up this year, and I feel like I can do it. I've been preparing myself for 100 games. So that's one thing about me. I've just been trying to do what I can to make sure I don't miss any games with no type of injuries. And I have some big goals set for upcoming season, and I feel like I can reach them.
100 means that you guys are going to the playoffs and going on a deep run, so that would be a good thing.
Absolutely.
If you play 100 games. How do you prepare knowing that you have this great work ethic? I think that was something that I really gravitated towards when you got on the team, reading how the alarm clock story. If people don't know it, can you just tell the alarm clock story right now?
It was for Christmas. I asked for an alarm clock, and my parents, they got me an alarm clock just so I could set it up at 5 a.m. and get up and go run, dribble around the neighborhood, go do something. I feel like that was something that allowed me to be able to get up early mornings now just because it's pretty easy for me. So.
And how old were you at that time?
Oh, I was really young.
Exactly.
Yeah, really young. I was really young. And it was one of those things that just stayed with me in my entire middle school, entire high school career. Even in college, I would wake up early or even go to sleep late in the gym. So I just always had that work ethic just to continue to fight and continue to get better.
And I say this with all due respect. This is a good thing. Your work ethic is crazy. You're right? Like it's a good thing to have that work ethic. But in the off season, I'm sure you have to still
Oh yeah.
dial back and fight yourself for wanting to work as hard as you want to work.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I definitely have to do that. Like today for me, it was a little bit simpler day, just because yesterday I had basketball, had Pilates, and then I had boxing as well to finish it off. So today it was a little easier day for me, just because I know I did a lot yesterday. So it was one of those things of making sure I don't overdo it, and that's one thing I have to tell myself and train myself to make sure. Okay, enough is enough. All right, time to rest and time to recover.
You're boxing now?
Oh yeah, I've been boxing for a minute. I've been boxing, so just trying to get back in the swing of things and just enjoy it again. I haven't done it in a while, and the cardio is something that I definitely need as well.
What do you see as similarities in the way you use your body for basketball and boxing? Because they seem very different from each other.
I would say just the fast change of speeds for me. Like at the end of the day, in boxing, you can't just throw jabs and throw haymakers the entire time. You have to really just pace yourself as well. I feel like in basketball as well, like driving to the hole for me is like, okay, I got to change the space, or it's time to go fast, or time to slow it down. And I feel like they go hand in hand, as well as footwork. The footwork in boxing is through the roof, and as well as in basketball. You have good footwork in basketball, you can pretty much get to any spot you want on the court.
I was going to say, you are taking jabs from bigs when you're driving to the
Absolutely.
hole in basketball, it seems like.
Yeah, absolutely. I get bumped a lot, hard fouls here and there, but I love it. I love each and every part of that, a part of the game. It's one of those things that allows you to get that adrenaline. When you go through the hoop and get bumped really hard, you're like, okay, all right, it's going to be one of those nights. So
I think back to even that viral clip of you in high school where you're
yeah.
staring down
Oh,
somebody
yeah.
and you can see the intensity of a basketball player on the court, that you're not going to get me in this moment.
Oh yeah,
I'm going to get you.
Absolutely. It's one of those things. When I step on the floor, it's us against you. It's no friends. Even though we might be friends off the court, when we get on the court, at the end of the day, I'm gonna hit you in the mouth at any chance I get. That's how I move, and that's how I think.
How would you describe your boxing technique? Who are you? Who are you in the ring?
I would say I'm myself, because
Okay.
I got feet work from basketball,
Yeah.
and I got a little bit of power. So at the end of the day, I'm still trying to put it all together and understand the techniques and things like that. But it's definitely been fun. I've been doing it for a while, so I'm getting back in the swing of things. I'm gonna go tomorrow as well, so definitely be sparring soon, Carlos.
Well, I look forward to it being on the docu-series that
Oh,
you're
yeah.
sparring with Carlos.
Oh no, I ain't gonna spar with Carlos. We're gonna find someone for me to spar with, but real soon.
Dwyane Wade had a tweet a couple years ago that Collin Sexton figured it out. And that was 2 years ago. How do you reflect on that tweet? And for someone like that who has so much respect from everybody in basketball, and I'm sure you held him in a high esteem, what does it mean that somebody notices that? And how do you not get complacent with having someone say, you figured it out?
I would say now I just go into him and ask him more questions, some more things that he sees, because at the end of the day, he's a legend, Hall of Famer. He's one of the greats, and for me to go talk to him whenever I can, I feel like that's a blessing. Most people don't have that person of his standard in close proximity to him. So me being able to talk to him whenever it feels good. So I try to use that to my advantage whenever I see him. Just ask him this, or even just how he's doing, and just know him that, like, I appreciate him. Let him know that I think everything for him, just because he has gave me some pointers here and there, and they have stuck with me and allowed me to just continue to get better.
Did you have an appreciation for his game before even meeting him?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So me and my brother, we love playing and watching basketball together. So that was one thing. We always used to watch the Heat, just because he loved Dwyane Wade, and I fell in love with it as well, just because I used to watch his movements of how he used to get downhill, reject, and Euro step, all those different things. I was like, okay, I kind of like it, and he was flashy as well at times, and sometimes he used to just get to a spot and pull up, which I was like, okay, I kind of like really started to see, like, some things in pretty much just taking certain things and put it into my game.
And it's for him, that pull-up, that wasn't there earlier on in his game, but that's the proof of a great adding in off-season, working at it, and finally being able to debut it in a game.
Absolutely. I felt like the pull-up is something that like I can use to my advantage, and some things that he was able to use to his advantage because he was able to get downhill. He was able to get downhill, get to the basket. So for me, just being able to get downhill and put pressure on the basket a lot, and then allowing the defense to go back allowed me to get to my pull-up as well.
Looking at the team and what you were able to observe on the bench towards the end because you weren't playing as much with injury, what did you see from the group post-trade deadline where Walker Kessler's playing more, Ochai Abaji's playing more, the young guys are getting their chance?
I would say it was one of those things that they was like next man up mentality. They came in ready to go. And they never like hang their heads. They had times where it was tough, ups and downs, but who doesn't? At the end of the day, it's part of the NBA, and as a group and as teammates, we're right there to pick them up. You can tell they were getting better as the games went on, and definitely started building that confidence. And it's tough when someone gets confidence. Their ceiling goes up a little higher for sure.
How has Will Hardy established that? Because it seems like when we would come in to interview you guys after practice, there were still good vibes around the team every single day. People still wanted to come in and work within that environment because of the culture that he created.
I would say just the way Coach carries himself. He's one of those coaches that enjoys having fun and enjoys the time he spends with us. So we try to like give him feedback off of him. At the end of the day, he's young, so he comes in playing around, making jokes all the time. But when it is business time, it is business, and you can just tell like anybody's going to go run through a wall for a coach that has your back, and that's Coach Will.
Coach, when he had DJ Ron for his birthday up on the deck, that seemed like something that a young guy would appreciate. And, okay, you got a DJ spinning up top.
Yeah, it was just one of those things, laughter, but also it was needed during the time. I know we had our ups and had our downs during the time, so we needed just to come in and just have a really good day, and I feel like that was one of those days.
Lowry, you played with him in Cleveland, but not as much because it wasn't like you shared the floor for a lot of time, but you saw that this was in him as a player to get to this level. Has he continued to meet your expectations or even surprise you in the way that he played last season, winning Most Improved?
So like I would say last year when we was in Cleveland together, I was like, yo, he's really good. Because at the end of the day, it's different when you see someone on another team, but when you see him on your team, you're like, yo, he's really good. And then once I got to Utah, Coach Will, he's like, how is Lowry? I said, Coach, he's really good. You'll see. I'm telling you, he's really good. He can shoot it, put it on the floor. He's athletic. I'm like, he can do it all. And at the end of the day, you've seen it. The entire year he carried us, and he was one of those guys that was consistent, coming in every day, working hard and doing what he had to do. And you can tell if you put your work in, it's all going to pay off.
What are you looking forward to most for next season?
I have a lot to prove. I got a lot to prove. I got a chip on my shoulder. I'm ready to come in and do what's needed, ready to come in and have a big year.
Rev the bull?
Rev the bull. Keep it pushing. I'm ready to show them what I can do. It's time to wake them up.
Well, we're looking forward to it. He is Collin Sexton on Roundball Roundup on UtahJazz.com. Collin, thank you so much.
Appreciate you having me.